Do you know the worst personal finance decisions that you can make are? I'm talking about the decisions that you will make that have an impact on your personal self and your finances. These decisions can and will cost you millions of dollars over your lifetime. And most people aren't aware of these decisions because they weren't taught personal finance in their actual school. So unless you had a mentor, you had parents that taught you, grandparents that taught you, you just haven't actually been exposed to this or actually learned about your personal finances and the decisions that will impact your life. My name is Curtis, and I want to bring awareness to personal finances so that I can actually help, take people to the next level in their personal financial journey. And today, I'm going to go over 3 of the worst financial decisions you can make in your life. And stick around because the 3rd financial decision is the absolute worst, and I see people making this decision every single day. Now, everyone can benefit from this information, but if you're a little bit younger, say you're coming out of college, high school, or you're just now entering the workforce, this information will actually help benefit you even more because you'll have the compound interest working for you, and compound interest working for you with the money that you can save from these financial decisions will have, exponential impact on your future finances. It all started on a cool fall day. It was damp, and you could smell the fall leaves and wood burning in the air. You thought how perfect it would be to grab a hot pumpkin spice latte and a chocolate chip pumpkin muffin. So you went to the local cafe. You walked down the street, and as you walked in the door, the smells of pastries, coffee, pumpkin, and the fall spices hit your nose. Your mouth started watering. Everyone was happy. The coffee shop music sounded amazing, and it was just the perfect fall Saturday morning. You get up to the counter, you make your order, your cashier says, "You're welcome," and then it hits you because she tells you your total. $22.15. So you decided, hey, that's okay. I'm going to treat myself. You open up your wallet and you notice you have no cash because you spent it the day before. But no biggie, right? But you also remember that your debit card has nearly nothing in it and you actually have bills coming up. Good thing you have a paycheck coming in this week. So you grab your credit card and you swipe it. You think to yourself and justify your purchase by saying, "I'll pay it off later and everything will be okay." Not knowing that this was just the tip of the iceberg going into credit card debt. See, most people don't anticipate going into credit card debt, but that's just the thing. They're not anticipating it, but most people do. Most people are not credit card people. And the reason that credit card companies, loan or give credit card to people is because they know most people aren't credit card people. Most people are going to swipe their card and carry over a balance, which then accrues interest every single month. I couldn't even tell you what the interest rate on my card is because I've never actually, had interest accrue. I don't care what the interest rate is because I know I'm never going to roll a balance over, meaning I will never pay interest and I'm actually just getting the points from using it or the cash back. But like I said, most people are not like this. Most people are saying, hey, it's okay if I have a credit card and it's okay if I swipe it and, I roll over a little bit every single month, or it's okay if I can just make the minimum payments because as long as I can get what I want and purchase what I want and I can make the minimum payment, it's okay. But that is so far from the truth because people don't understand that interest keeps building and building and building, and it's actually compound interest working against you. You could be using that money, that extra, the accrued interest in paying yourself, put that in a high interest savings account, investing it for your future, or just putting it to the side so that you can have, money, a emergency fund stocked up. But people don't actually do that. They're okay with having multiple credit cards, multiple line of credit, and they just keep paying the minimum payment because they think that's okay. But like I said, that's not true, and it hurts you so much in the long run. You need to take that money and you need to invest it, or put it to the side, or make an extra payment on rent so you can get ahead. or maybe put it towards your mortgage or whatever it is. You need to take that extra cash that you are paying the bank because you're loaning money from them and actually use it for yourself. If not, then the banks are just using it and they're actually getting the money. And did you know that actually in 2022, the credit card companies made over $105 billion just in interest? And if you count the fees for people having credit cards, it was just shy of $135 billion. Now, don't tell me that you're outsmarting the credit card company, because most people aren't. And I know there are a few out there, and if that's you, that is awesome. That is, good for you. You're using the credit cards to your advantage. You're leveraging it, but most people aren't. And actually, the story that I read, at the intro of this first wealth killer of credit card debt, that's actually how most people are. They just keep swiping their card and they're okay going into debt, which is not okay. And I want to spread that awareness. And that is why it is one of the biggest, if not the biggest wealth killer in the United States, is because you just have to keep paying the bank for money that you should have to be able to make a purchase you want to purchase. The next worst personal finance decision starts off by you getting the new job. You got the new job that you were applying for, or you got the new raise, you got the new promotion, you're now making $10,000, $20,000 more, and you think, this is just the moment you need because you're finally going to have extra income that you can put towards your savings or towards your emergency fund, towards your investing. But that is not the truth. You see, most people actually fall into lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation is actually number 2 on this list for me because people fall for this all the time. There's a reason that 66% of the United States Americans say that they are living paycheck to paycheck. And that's as of August 2024. The reason people think this is because you have this mindset, well, if I can just make 10,000 more, if I can just make 20,000 more, if I can just make 100,000, I will be set. But the issue is we don't have a problem with how much income we're receiving. Yes, that does contribute. And I'm not going to lie, I think people should get paid more because inflation has gone crazy. Lifestyle is just way different nowadays than what it was back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. And the wage gap, the wages have not kept up with inflation. But overall, it is a spending issue too. People spend money when they make money. It's just, that's just how it goes. When people get $100, they want to go spend the $100. When people get a $10,000 bonus or raise or promotion, those people want to go spend that money. And usually you already know what you want to go spend that on. You've been dreaming of that new phone. You've been dreaming of that new car. You've been dreaming of those clothes, those sneakers, that fashion, that, four-wheeler, whatever it is. People already have, money spent in their head, knowing that right when they get that cash, they're going to go spend it. Just like when tax season comes around, people get a tax return. What do? They go spend it. And these companies, they sit there and they're like sharks in the water. They say, "Hey, come get this new sofa. It's a tax season special. Hey, come get these cars. It's a tax season special." And that's because they know these people have money. And when these people get money, they spend it. That's lifestyle inflation. When you receive more money or you make more money, you spend more money. It's a natural thing. It's not a horrible thing. But the thing is if you can actually live below your means, keep living like you were, and then just take that money and invest it, take that extra cash and save it, put it towards, a future bill or a future mortgage or something, then you can get so much further ahead in life, and it just takes stress off you. Once you get money saved up in your bank account, you have so much less stress. You don't have to sit there and worry about, oh, my tire just popped on the side of the highway. I can't pay for a towing company and, a tire, or my engine broke down, or an emergency dental visit or something like that. Those can set people back years and years. But lifestyle inflation happens, when people get the income, their income increases, they get more income and they just spend it. And so if you can just take that extra income, like I said, and invest it, say you get this extra income and you live the same way you were for even just 3 years, that's an extra 30 grand. Plus, if you were to invest that and you got a 10% return every single year, that would be thousands of dollars even on top of that. Then you would be printing money at that point, because when you're investing and you're getting that return, you're letting compound interest work for you instead of against you. And that's all because you just lived the same way you were before you got the raise, promotion, or new job. And that's the second wealth killer. Now, before I jump into this last wealth killer, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get back to the wealth killers, or should I say murderer, because this next one is an absolute beast, and it is a murderer because I've seen this happen every single day. I know people that make this decision. I see people make this decision. I'm driving on the highway and I see the tag. I see the 30-day tag. I see the 60-day tag, and that is buying a new car. When you buy a new car, not only are you setting your personal finances, your future personal finances up for failure, you're absolutely destroying your current income because now you owe the bank. Now you have a note, a 5-7 year car note, and you can't change anything unless you sell the car. And if you sell the car, you're going to take a huge loss. So when people buy cars, when people go in to buy a new car, I know it's nice. I know the steering wheel has heated steering wheels, and the mirrors aren't even really mirrors. They're just cameras nowadays, and they have the blind side assistance, and it feels good. The bucket seats just wrap around you. You got the sunroof, the moonroof. It's bigger. It's luxury. The feel, the stitching, everything is so nice. The touchscreen, the display, everything is so nice nowadays in all these new cars. And I know it's hard not to buy a new car because I wish I had a new car. I wish I could go buy a new car right now, but that's just not a personal finance decision that I'm willing to make because I know how much of a drop in decline those cars have just after 3 to 5 years. Actually, just after pulling off the lot. Statistically, when you drive a car, a brand new car, say you paid $30,000 for a car, when you drive that and it leaves the parking lot, 20% of the value instantly disappears. Your car is now worth $24,000 because you drove it off the lot. Now it is not new, it is used. And then statistically, every single year after that, it drops anywhere from 5 to 10%. So after 5 years, your car is really only worth 40 to 60% of the value that you bought it for. Not only that, but you've also been paying a $700 car note for 5 years. You could have taken that $700, say you take the down payment of $5,000 for that $30,000 car. You then pay $700 a month, and you take that $700 a month, and instead you just put that in the S&P 500 and you get a 10% return. You're looking at 60 grand over 5 years. If you could have just taken that 5,000, and yeah, maybe it's a beater car, maybe it's not as nice, and it's definitely not going to be as nice, but that's a sacrifice you're willing to make so that your future self is actually set up for success. You don't want to put yourself in a hole and then just owe money to the bank. You see, when I'm talking about these wealth killers, a lot of these are just about you don't have control of your own finances. When you have a credit card and you owe money to the bank, guess where your money's going? To the bank. Yeah, you can make a minimum payment, but guess what? That minimum payment is guaranteed to the bank. And every single month, that thing's going to go up if your debit card or if your credit card just keeps going up. If your car payment, you get a car payment, guess what? That $700 has to go to the bank. If you miss it, they'll come and take the car. It is just not worth it, in my opinion, to buy a car knowing that it's only going to be worth, a $30,000 car is probably going to be worth $10,000 to $15,000 in the next 5 to 6 years. And then not only that, but you paid the $700 a month that could have been giving you interest every single year. So you could have had, $8,400. You could have just been putting into a bank account or a high interest savings, or just investing it into a Roth, or investing into a mutual fund or the S&P 500 or whatever, and you could have just been sitting there rolling in cash and getting your interest and setting your future self up for success. But instead, now you owe the bank and you're struggling to make a car payment, or maybe you're not, and maybe you're fine with that, but that's just not the way that personal finance should be taught, because that's not for everyone. And if something happened and you had to sell the car today, your car is now worth, $20,000 less than what it was. And if you really take into the factor of, hey, my car is only worth 13, I've spent a total of 40 to 50 after interest and, all my car payments and stuff. And if I would have had that in the S&P 500 for the last 5 years, it would be worth $60K. That's a huge gap. And that's just a decision that is only going to last 5 years, but it makes such a huge impact on your future self. And then the thing is most people, they buy a new car, they pay it all off until the note's gone. And then what do? They go trade that car in for $7,000 and then they buy a new car. So the cycle just restarts, or they, go and trade it in or early and they just roll their amount that they owe and it just adds it to the new loan, and it's just not a good cycle to be in. It's not good. It is, I think, probably the worst financial decision that you can make, especially when you're 18, 19, 20. You don't actually understand these financial decisions that you're making most of the time because you're not taught in school. And so what do? You go out, you buy this new car, everyone's happy for you. They're, saying congratulations, which is cool. It is really cool. But the thing is you don't own the car. Most of the time, people don't own the car. The bank owns it, and you're borrowing it because you don't have the car paid off. And until you pay that car off, it's not yours. And when you do finally pay the car off, it's not worth but half of what you paid for it. And it's a sad reality, but that's just what people are taught. And if you really want to be accountable and have accountability for people, maybe have those heart-to-heart conversations with people saying, hey, maybe you don't need that new car right now, man. I know you just got that new job. What if you just rode in your beater for, just a few more years and you saved up cash and then you could buy the car cash? Or, what if you just got a certified mechanic pre-owned used car? You spent $6,000 or $7,000. You just paid straight cash. You saved up for 6 months, paid straight cash, and you don't have a car payment. Then you can do whatever you want with that $700 every single month. Because people that have those new cars, people that have those big car payments, it's not fun having those car payments. I've never had a huge car payment because I kind of learned this from a young age, just from YouTube and, listen to a lot of personal finance guys and, different mentors saying, don't get into debt. And I found, Dave Ramsey from a young age. And, I love Dave Ramsey, and a lot of things are good that he talks about. There are some things that I disagree with, but for the most part, he, has been successful at what he does because he does teach things that are successful. I mean, that's just what it is. So yeah, my goal is just to help people. I want people to have the financial decisions, and the financial knowledge to make decisions, to make decisions, good decisions, to set themselves up for success, set their kids up for success. Everyone has these huge financial goals, but every single time that you take on money and you owe extra money to the bank, it just sets you back more and more. And that's why I want to go over these type of wealth killers. That's why I want to go over more videos like this in the future, just to bring awareness. I want to teach people personal finance. I want to teach people how to save money, how to make extra money, how to invest. Just set yourself up for so much success in your life. And I've realized that people just aren't taught these things. And unless you find it out on your own, or you find someone like I did, you're not going to get taught, and you'll never get ahead in life. And so, yeah, in the future, I want to have people on this show. I want to have people come onto my show live. I want to look at your guys', your financial accounts, and I want to create budgets with you guys. I want to, sit down and walk through creating a budget with you live. I want to, help set you up for success in your future. If you have goals, how are we going to reach those goals? If you have debt, how can I get out of this debt? And how can I set myself up? What do I need to do to actually be successful in my personal financial journey? And with that being said, guys, if you like this video, comment, like, subscribe, put on that notification bell so that you can know when I do post a video or do post a short. But yeah, until next time, guys, just comment below, what you want to see. What kind of videos, if you guys have any other questions about these things, if you have questions about other things I can make videos about, or if you just want to reach out to me, that too. I love having conversations with people. And if you want to be on the show, you can email me, rylent.curtis at gmail.com. That's rylant.curtis at gmail.com. And then if you don't want to email me, just comment budget in all caps, and I'll figure out a way to reach out to you. And maybe I can have you on my show, or I'll just take some questions from you guys and I can answer them just in a video about what you guys are wanting to learn about. But until next time, remember, you can do all things through the one who gives you strength. Peace.